What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Unscripted here, of course, on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'll be your host and producer, Logan Landers, and join me here today to do a recap of the 2024 World Series, which saw the Los Angeles Dodgers defeat the New York Yankees in 5 games. Joining me today is going to be, of course, Jay McLovin, my cohort here, my co-founder on ESEN. Jay, first off, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Logan. Not as good as Frankie. I mean, Frankie's probably a little pissed off right now, but I'm doing
I think
good.
so. I think we are filming this a couple of days after the fact. If we would have got him on out, a couple minutes after, we would definitely need a swear button or a jar for what would be said. But before we start recapping and going into just how this series played out, if you guys like this show, like, follow, share, and subscribe. That's important for growth on the channel. Check us out on all these platforms you see here: Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Also on LinkedIn. The best way to find all those platforms, though, is through our link tree, which you can find in the description of all of our episodes, as well as the description of all of the other shows on our network. We have a lot of other really talented, tremendous podcasts talking about all different types of sports and whatnot. So go over there, check all of our other shows out here on the network. And Jay, I don't know about you, but if I'm feeling down, I might have a little bit of coffee, a little bit of water here. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't hit the same. And the only reason I got some today, Jay, is because I'm fresh out. I don't have any left. I'm waiting for my order to come in. If you guys want to get that midday pickup, help us out, help yourself out. Go to w.gg. Tremendous jitterless energy blend, Jay. Check us out there. The Dragonade. They got a bunch of other flavors. Think of any flavor combination, and I can guarantee they have something, if not very similar, if not identical, on that channel over there on that website. Like I said, they've got great products, not just energy drink blends. They've also got shakers as well. They've got T-shirts. They've got stickers. I mean, if you just go on the website, it's really well made. They've got a lot of great stuff over there. So we can also help you out too. If you want to get a little bit of money off your order, you can help us out. You can also help yourself out, wake yourself up during the midday. If you're staying up to watch all the football games now that baseball's over, basketball's back in season. If you're watching a movie, horror movies, we just did a video on that. If you're watching some of that or getting prepped for Thanksgiving, Jay, if you're getting ready for Thanksgiving now, if you're cleaning the house, if you're making sure the turkey's stuffed, if you're making sure that all the dressings and sides are up to snuff, then get yourself a nice tub or drink of Dubby. Like I said, great stuff over there. And Jay, I'm just waiting for mine to get back in. It's been a couple of weeks, and I'm just waiting here. I moved somewhat recently, so I got to make sure they get it to the right place. And I'll be back, and I can kick the coffee. I can get rid of the other energy drinks I've had in the past, and water's good, but it's not for waking you up. Not like Dubby. they do it without any of that crashing that you'll see from other companies. We'll say. Well, Jay, let's get into it, brother. Let's get into it. Dodgers win the World Series. It looked like it was going to be a sweep, to be honest. It looked like it was going to be a sweep. But let's do a recap, man. Let's go back. Game number 1 played on Friday, October 25th in L.A. And the series got off to a great start, Jay. Final score in that game, 6-3 in favor of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we all know how it ended, right? One of the best postseason moments from this season. Of course, we all know what happened, and it was kind of the start of Frankie's disdain of Freddie Freeman, and that is, of course, bottom of the 10th inning. LA was down. Freddie Freeman came up to the plate, and Jay hit a 413-foot bomb to get the walk-off win. What were your thoughts when you were watching that game? And like I said, what a great game 1 to get things started in the World Series.
Yeah, absolutely, Lo. I thought all the way up until about the 5th inning, that it was going to be a very hard-fought defensive game.
Yep.
And in all honesty, I up in that 5th, that, and it really wasn't that much. I mean, it was 6-3, but it was really that 10th inning. I mean, like when they
it's really the end where it all got cooking.
10th inning, it just man, it's just like the roof got ripped off of that stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and and obviously, I mean, you can't beat a walk-off home run. I mean,
No.
it is just that's the way you end stuff. That's the stuff that's the stuff that lures are made out of, right? The thing and the thing about it too is I felt like Judge was just nowhere to be found. I mean, the guy had 3 strikeouts,
Yeah, 1 of 5.
and it just the one guy that actually produced, which is I didn't think he would produce, was Giancarlo Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he really kept the Yankees somewhat in these things, but what time to be alive, Logan?
Yeah.
And at some point, I felt like at some point during this series, I felt like Boone should have realized, hey, maybe I shouldn't pitch to Freddie Freeman. Maybe I should just walk him.
And,
Now you could
we'll get to that.
yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like it was a very defense. I felt like Cole, came out and pitched a very good game.
Yeah.
I think Flaherty had pitched a really good game, but man, what a time to be alive.
I'm about to say, man, you can't beat a walk-off, not just a walk-off home run, right? But it was a walk-off grand slam.
Yeah.
In the World Series. I mean, that's something you're in your backyard when you're 6 years old. You're making up scenarios in your head. You're saying, all right,
sure.
2 outs, bottom of the extra innings. Let's see what we can do here. Usually you'll say game 7 because you want to make it as high stakes as possible. But, if you're Freddie Freeman, you'll take game 1. That's what put the Dodgers out to a statement win, obviously. Game 1, 6-3 classic, I would say, in the World Series. So we got a game 2. This is going to be on that Saturday. So the next game, 4-2, LA gets to win in that one. When you look at this game here, Jay, like I said, 4-2, so a little bit of a lower scoring game, not super high scoring like we saw the game prior. But I mean, really, you can chalk this one up to the great pitching of Yamamoto. I mean, 6 1/3 innings, only give up 1 hit. I mean, obviously, we know that 1 hit was that home run from Juan Soto. But other than that, he pitched a great ball game, kept the Dodgers in it. And as we know, the Yankees struggled with their big money acquisition not too long ago, right? Carlos Rodon only got you through 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, and only 3 strikeouts. And we know what happened, Jay. We know what happened with Carlos Rodon and with the Dodgers and how they got a few runs. Tommy Edmonds got started in the bottom of the second, hit a home run there. And then we saw 2 home runs, I believe it was back-to-back, in the third by Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman. I don't know if this was the game where I saw it and I texted Freddie or Frankie and I said, maybe they would try pitching around this guy. But I would honestly, Jay, I would chalk this one up to Yamamoto for keeping them in the ball game for as long as he did. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, Yamamoto did exactly what he should have done, and I felt like, again, Aaron Judge had 3 strikeouts,
Yeah.
And, it's just, and then, of course, they had, I think it was Schmidt that I think they got the start in that game, correct? If I'm thinking right?
No. That Rodon got the start in game 2.
Rodon. I'm sorry. Yeah, Schmidt played in game 3.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah. But Rodon, and then of course Rodon just goes out and
Rodon just struggled, Jay. Like you said, he only had 3. He had as many strikeouts as he did home runs allowed, 3 and 3. He only got through 63 pitches, and only 40 of them were strikes, which means that tells me Los Angeles was hunting. They were said, all right, whatever. If you're throwing a fastball, I'm looking dead on. Whatever the first one that comes close to the plate is, I'm smacking it, and that's what they did. They just. I get it was 4-2, but it was a loud 4-2. They were getting home runs in bunches.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Rodon only went 3.1 innings.
Yeah,
he didn't last long. I mean, the guy had 63 pitch count before they relieved him.
Mm-hmm.
He had 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, and only 3 strikeouts. But he also had 3 home runs. Look, man, this guy had a bad day. And, I mean, he just had a really bad day. And, everybody else, I mean, once they got past Rodon, Jake Cousins, Hill, Holmes, Leiter, everybody else pitched well, and they were able to control it. But that one, I think it was I guess they got the second inning and the third inning. That second, third inning, if they could take that back and redo it, that would be probably amazing. But like I said, when you look at Giancarlo, he went 1 for 4. But when I look at Judge, he's like 0 for 4, and he was hitting $150.
Yeah,
and that just doesn't get it done for me. Soto did well, right? 2 for 4.
Yeah, he did good.
But if you look at it, Rizzo, Cabrera, Volpe, Wells, Trevino, Verdugo. Anybody else you want to throw out there, none of them were getting hits. They only had.
Yeah, they only got 4 hits as a team.
Yeah, 4 hits, bro.
4 hits as a team. So and you brought up a good point, Jay. If the Yankees could have redone those 3 1/3 innings from Rodon, they might have won that one. Because, like you said, credit to Cousins, Hill, Holmes, and Leiter Jr., Jay, the guys who in the bullpen carried you the rest of the way. They only gave up 2 hits, and that was off of Cousins. The other guys didn't give up any hits. Yeah. Rodon, I would say, is the reason why they lost this game. 6 hits allowed. All 4 runs on his were reflected from him. It wasn't the bullpen's fault. The bullpen did great. It was just they couldn't get anything going in the pitching department for Rodon. And when you look at the hitting, in terms of where the Yankees scored, Soto, as we said, hit home run, and we've seen that Soto that tied the game in the 3rd. But then it was right after where it all kind of unraveled for New York. And then Stanton hit an RBI single to score Soto. So as you're seeing, like I said, when you look at the strikeouts in this game, LA struck out 6 times, Yankees struck out 7, so there's only a 1 differential there. But as you said, Judge struck out 3 times, and Volpe struck out twice. When you look at the Dodgers, it's spread out a little bit more. Max Muncy was the only player who struck out multiple times in that ball game. But this was the Teoscar Hernandez show, right? 2 for 4, 2 RBIs on for him. He did great. And like I said, 8 hits. So, I think they had, 10 in game 1. They've already – you could tell LA, the bats were already hot 2 games in. So, let's Soto shuffle over, Jay, to game 3. Very similar result, 4-2. Game 3 win. LA wins this one. So this one is where we saw Walker Buehler getting the start for Los Angeles, and he took on Clark Schmidt. So Buehler dominated, man. He just absolutely shoved it on the mound. 5 innings of 2-hit ball, no runs allowed, only had 2 walks and struck out 5, threw for 76 pitches on the night. He did great, right? I think he did a tremendous job. That's exactly what you want from a starter. And Jay, a familiar foe of Frankie the Yankee, reared his ugly head once again. Top of the 1st inning, Freddie Freeman home run to right. His, I believe, 3rd home run now of the series. Why are you pitching to this guy? I don't understand it. Why would you do that? They put him up 2-0, and they kept scoring, obviously. Kike Hernandez scored in the 6th, and then Mookie Betts also got a single as well, RBI single, for the other runs in the ball game. But man, I scratch my head. Why would you give this dude anything to hit?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah, I felt like, with this game here, I felt like the Yankees were having a hard time. Number one, they have a hard time getting men on base. And then when they get men on base, they were having a hard time even getting them home. And I felt like that was the difference, right? I feel like LA, when they got people on base, they got them home. They were able to drive in the runs. Because you got to think, the Yankees and the Dodgers both had 5 hits. But a couple of those home runs, and RBIs, that's a difference maker, right? And not that the Yankees pitching was bad. I thought they had pretty decent pitching. But
it was that mistake
offense whatsoever. And matter of fact, up until this point, at the end of this game, this specific game, Aaron Judge had already had 7 strikeouts total for the first 3 games of the World Series. 7.
Mm-hmm. And also at this point, too, Jay, after game 3, it lowered his World Series batting average to 140, which, if you look at the rest of the team, the only player who was around that mark was Jazz Chisholm, who was hitting 170 at that point, and Jose Trevino, who was hitting 200. Alex Verdugo is hitting a $195. I mean, Jay, those are some quality guys there that aren't making contact, that aren't doing anything. And also, too,
Yeah.
the pitching for Los Angeles, the bullpen work, just absolutely marvelous. I will say they struggled with the walks a little bit in game 2 or in game 3. They gave up 6 walks as a team, but they made up for it though. Jay, they struck out 11 batters.
Yeah.
I mean, you take what you can get. The bullpen, I think, did a good job. Overall, they had and we've seen with LA, and I mean, really a lot of teams now, they're throwing a lot of bullpen guys in there. I mean, we're seeing 5+ bullpen guys a game now, it feels. But I mean, honestly, if when you look at Schmidt, he only pitched 2 2/3 innings. He only threw 68 pitches. I mean, he had 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, but like I said, man, he got off on the wrong foot. If it wasn't for him giving up that early home run to Freddie, it might have been a different story. Like you said, just the bats for New York went anemic. Only 5 hits in the ball game, and they scored 4 runs, but you only got 5 hits. And I mean, when you look at how, excuse me, they only had 2 runs. But when you look at how they scored those 2 runs for New York, it was an Alex Verdugo home run, and that was in the bottom of the 9th. That was it. It took him 9 innings to get 2 runs, and by then it was too late.
Yeah, and then when you look at it, they had the game. Another thing was the Dodgers had 3 double plays. I mean, the Yankees hit into 3 double plays. I mean, that's not good when you're hitting not that many double plays. And then, you look at the fielding error on Chisholm. It just is what it is, man. I mean, when you're making mistakes like that, mental mistakes, number one, when you can't get men on base and you're hitting into double plays, that's rough. That's a rough day. It's a rough outing for them.
So then we move to game 4, Jay. Game 4 in New York. This is the second game in New York, by the way. Was this the game which saw the fan? Was game 4 which saw the fan interfere with the ball? I believe it was.
Yeah, it was.
So first off, I just want to say that dude doesn't need to come back.
Yeah.
You don't I don't care if he's a season ticket holder. The comments he made afterwards I thought were despicable. And that dude doesn't need to be in the outfield, right? Someone else in New York can take those seats. Personally, I'm saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Jay, look, we've seen it where there's a foul ball hitting the stands, right? Player go for it. Fans are trying to get the ball, rightfully so, right? I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is the guy saw that Mookie Betts had caught the ball and tried to yank it out of his glove. And it wasn't like it was right there. He pulled him up to try to yank the ball out.
Yeah.
That's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with him going for the ball. I have a problem with him trying to rip the ball out of a player's hand.
Yeah, like that takes a lot of balls. Yeah.
Literally, yeah. No,
he didn't even get the ball because even though he was able to rip it out, the ball went back on the field. So number one, he got banned for game 5. And he didn't even get the ball at the end of the day anyway. And number 3, he's probably one of the most famous faces now in New York.
For all the wrong reasons, I guess, right?
For all the wrong reasons.
Like I said, if I'm Steve Bartman, I'm a little bit pissed because that man was vilified for 20 years somewhat before the Cubs won a World Series. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just saying, man. Look, if the Yankees didn't win, then I guess different circumstances, but come on. Anyways, back to how this game shook out. So this is do or die at this point. LA's up 3-0. They're just coasting, Jay. I mean, the champagne's already on ice. They've got the T-shirts drawn up. They're just hanging out. So the Yankees win this one 11-4. It's a bullpen game for LA. They see 4 pitchers go out there. They get shellacked for 11 runs, give up 6 walks, only strike out 4 batters. But I mean, this is not their A team, right? This is not their end all be all. They said, you know what? They haven't done anything on offense in the last couple of games since game 1. Let's see what we can do here. So the bullpen game wasn't really anything. Look, looking at Los Angeles, I'll start there. They got 4 runs, so I mean they were still producing. I mean they still put up some runs on the board, but wasn't enough. I mean they got started. When you look at this game, they got started 2 runs in the first, Jay. That's what you see for the most part in these last couple of games is LA starts off hot quick. And it's a game of cat and mouse. And if New York can catch up, great. If not, then 9 times out of 10, they won the game. So,
Yeah.
Jay, I feel like I've read this story before. Correct me if I'm wrong. First inning, Freddie Freeman, 2-run home run. I don't understand it, Jay. I don't understand. This guy hit in total 4 home runs in the World Series and drove in 12 RBIs. 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Why are you pitching to him? Why would you not just give him the Barry Bonds treatment at this point? I'm not saying you have to walk him, but why would you give him anything near the plate? Dude, I'm biting the corners. I'm going low and inside, low and outside, high and inside. I am not throwing anything in the middle. I'm throwing just straight BBs. I'm throwing fastballs only in the corners outside the plate. So this guy, if he does hit it, it ain't going as far as it would be. I mean, I scratch my head at this. But regardless, like I said, LA only put up 4 runs. That was 2 of their 4. They scored 2 runs also in the top of the 5th inning, a home run from Will Smith, and a fielder's choice that Freddie grounded into. But credit to the Yankees on this one, Jay. They needed to win this game. They won this game. They were already behind, but that 3rd inning is where they really started to roll. They scored 4 runs there. Anthony Volpe had a really good hit there. We know he scored the grand slam there. Big moment, right? Big moment. Probably their biggest moment. Up to that point, you could say. Austin Wells hit a home run to give him the lead in the 6th inning, and in the 8th inning they just came unglued. Scored 5 runs on 4 hits. Verdugo, fielder's choice. Gleyber Torres hit a home run. Aaron Judge got a single. So when I look at this game, look at the box score for New York. I mean, like I said, the bats were hot, but like I said, they weren't facing the top pitching for the Dodgers. When you look at the big hitters, I mean, all in all, they had 9 hits as a club, 11 RBIs. They had 3 home runs, came off the bat of Torres, came off the bats of Volpe and Wells. And I will say, Jay, if they would have kept doing this, they might have had a better chance. They only struck out 4 times as compared to LA, who struck out 8 in that game. So, and the 2 strikeouts came from Juan Soto of the 4. The other 2 came from Giancarlo and Anthony Rizzo. What were your thoughts on this game in Game 4? I mean, you knew it was pretty much put to bed already, but you saw at the end, it's like, okay, they put up 11 runs. They might have a better chance at this. I mean, what were your thoughts after this ball game?
Yeah, one of the craziest innings was that 8th inning when Honeywell comes out to be the pitcher. Yep. And I have never personally seen a 50-pitch inning. That was the first time I ever seen one inning get 50.
Yeah, 50.
Like Honeywell.
It felt like that never ended. It felt like that never ended for that dude. That was just a bad dream he couldn't wake up for. God bless you, Brent Honeywell. Hey, we can say now he got a ring, but man.
Well, and this was only a bullpen game. You knew it because Kasperius came out there. He only gave you 2 innings to start the game off, and then it was just I think all in all, though, they only used 4 pitchers: Kasperius, Hudson, Knack, and Honeywell.
They used 4 They used 4 pitchers, and I mean, they threw 169 pitches. Like I said, 50 of them were for Honeywell.
Yeah, 50 of them was like for Honeywell alone.
Dude.
It is what it is. I mean, the Yankees, yes, they got the one. Yes, they blew them out. But at the end of the day, it was just what it was, a bullpen game. So, you take it with a grain of salt. That's why I told Frankie, I said, don't get too happy yet. We got to wait and see what, Game 5 brings us. And, of course, it's on we'll get into Game 5 here in a minute. But it's just, it was just one game, and it was a bullpen game. So you really can't take it too seriously. But I will give them credit. The first 4 games, were all, the first 3 games were all really super close, and New York was in the mix the whole time. And then Game 4, it was all New York and a little bit of a little bit of LA, but primarily a lot of New York, right?
No doubt. Oh, and Jay, let's go ahead and put a bow on this one, shall we? Let's go to Game Five. Let's go to Game Five. We're in New
Oh,
York still. You know, Yankees fans. Frankie, I know was a little bit had a little bit of pep to his stuff, right? They said didn't he said he said we might be the first team to come back. We might be the first ones to do it.
yeah. I
He's
tell
feeling
Frankie all
good.
the time.
He was feeling good, but unfortunately, Jay, it was a sense of false hope.
Yeah.
So
Look, I'm a very superstitious person when it comes to baseball. And I tell Frankie all the time, don't say anything until the game is over.
there's 27 outs, and until that last one's recorded,
Yeah.
man, anything can happen. That's why with baseball, man, if you got that last pitch,
Yeah.
that could be it. If you got 2 outs, that one last pitch, that could be it. And it's
It
not like it's
is.
basketball, you know what I mean? Where if you're down
Yeah.
by 20 with a minute left, you're done for. With baseball, if you got the right positions, the right runners in place, or in this case, Jay, even if there are 2 outs in an inning, it ain't over. It ain't over.
And
So let's
that's the
go.
thing, like what he was saying, like what Frankie was saying, it will be the first team probably to come back from down 3-0. I said, Frankie, now you done jinxed yourself. So like I said, I'm superstitious. I don't say nothing. I be quiet. I enjoy the game, whatever. But I'm superstitious when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So Jay, let's look at this one. Game 5 in New York, and looking at this ball game, the Yankees strike first. They put up 3 runs, Jay, in the first inning. Jaron Judge, you've been calling for it. Frankie's been calling. Everyone we know has been saying, brother, please do something. Do something, please. Oh, he did, Jay.
Yeah.
He did. Home run. So credit to him. He got a big at bat, but as we see, a little bit too late. Little bit too late. He had home run, and also Jazz Chisholm, very outspoken player. He had been talking a lot, and a lot of people were hoping to shut him up. A lot of Dodgers fans were glad to do so. So they got out to a great start, right? 3-0. The bats are continuing, right, from the night before. They're looking good. Second inning, it continues. Alex Verdugo scores Anthony Volpe on a single. And Jay, that knocks out Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty was the starter in this ball game. Jack Flaherty did not have his best stuff. He did not look sharp at all. 1.1. That was how many innings he pitched. 1 inning and 1 batter. That's what he gave you. 35 pitches, but Jay gave up 4 runs on 4 hits. 2 of those hits being home runs. So he got beat up. Nothing more you can say. And then came in just a revolving door of relief pitchers, right? Banda, Brazier, Kopech, Vesia. It's like I'm just listing countries at this point. There's so many people. I will say, just in general, 97% Garrett Cole, great job, right? We're getting to it. Don't worry, folks. We're getting to it. But when you look at just the base stat line, right? 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs. No earned runs, though, Jay. That's important. 0 earned runs. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts on 108 pitches, for God's sake. So let's keep looking through this game, shall we? So going back, the Yankees, they're on fire, Jay. Giancarlo Stanton, bottom of the 3rd inning. Jay, they're up 5-0. If you're Yankees, if I'm Frankie, if I'm any Yankees fan, I'm feeling good.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is 5-0. We're at home. The crowd is white hot. I'm feeling good, buddy. I'm saying, all right, hey, let's go back to LA. I'm ready for this. Let's go to Game 6. Let's do this, boys. And then Jay. And then the number 5 is going to haunt Yankees fans for many, many years. Top of the 5th inning. Number 5 was also worn by Freddie Freeman, coincidentally. Just saying. 5th inning, Jay. Do you want to just do a breakdown of the 5th inning, shall we? Yeah. I've got the transcript here of what happened. I'll go through it, and I want to get your thoughts once we get to that pivotal moment, right? So we're at the top of the fifth inning. Right now, it's 5-0. Your Yankees are cruising. So, right now, Enrique Hernandez singles to right. It is what it is. All right, nothing big. Tommy Edman, fielding error. He's safe at first base. Okay, all right, fielding error. All right, whatever. And then Will Smith grounds into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. Tommy Edman gets the second. Hernandez is safe at third. Jake on a throwing error by Volpe. Back-to-back throwing error. What's going on here? Mm-hmm. All right. Is what it is. No runs have scored yet. Just guys in scoring position. Gavin Lux strikes out. Shohei Ohtani strikes out. And we'll talk a little more about Shohei in a little bit. We haven't mentioned him much. So you got 2 outs, Jay. 2 outs. Runners in scoring position, but it's 2 outs, right? Mm-hmm. Bases are juiced. And then what happens? Well, Mookie Betts, infield single, beats it out. Freddie Freeman. Wait, was this? No, Betts was the one that would have ended the inning, I believe.
Right.
That was the dribbler over to first.
Yeah.
To where Cole should.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
I played organized baseball up till high school. I know I am not a major league player. I can say that. But if anyone out there can prove me wrong, times might have changed in the last 15 years. I don't know. One of the first things they teach you on defense when you start pitching at, 10 or whatever, you're super young. When you're learning basic defense,
right,
you are taught if a ball is hit to first base, you go over there. I'm not saying you have to sprint, but you go over there. Especially if it's a somewhat of a lazy ground ball, right? Not like hard hit or anything.
Right.
You go over there. You don't go halfway and say, "Oh, you got it. That's you. You got it."
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that could have been avoided. That would have ended the inning, but it did not. Still, though, you're up 5-1. You're feeling fine still. Freddie Freeman, number 5. Singles to center. That scores 2 runs. Tommy Edman and Will Smith. 5-3. I get a little hot in the collar here. All right. Teoscar Hernandez, kind of an unsung hero, right? We've talked about him a little bit. He had some really good at-bats this postseason. I don't think got talked about enough. He did really well. He hit the double. Jay, that ties it. Yeah. They scored all 5 of their runs in the 5th inning with 2 outs.
It's crazy.
To recap, 5 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors from New York. What did you think when you saw this?
Yeah, I thought, you know what? Up until this point, Judge has been fielding well, but he just hasn't been able to produce at the plate. And it seemed like it got reversed in this game where, he's hitting great, but he's blundering that one ball, it bounced off of his glove. And I'm like, oh, man, are you kidding me? That's a routine catch. How are you not catching this? Because I know he didn't watch it into his glove, yeah. And so obviously it was costly, right? I mean, see, it cost them, a run or whatever. So what do I think about it? I think they had bad fundamental baseball. Now, Volpe did have to rush that throw, so I understand how it might have been off target, but still, bro, come on. This is professional baseball. We expect you to make those simple throws and catches, and they just weren't doing it.
Yeah, so that tied it, right? That tied the ball game there. So then we're going to go into the 7th now at this point. Or excuse me, no, actually, I glossed over this, the fact that in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th, that being, Giancarlo Stanton, who, honestly, Jay, I was surprised because he's been beaten up a lot. Fans were booing him. They've booed him multiple times at the stadium during the regular season. But honestly, if it wasn't for Stanton, I think this team would have gotten blown out if it wasn't for his performance as well as Soto's. Both of those guys kept this offense in check. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I can't put any blame on them personally. I think both of them did fairly well, as much as they could do. So they got the lead back, Jay, in the bottom of the 6th. But then the 7th, Come out, they have a clean inning. They don't give anything up. Then you go to the bottom of the seventh, nothing going on there. 1-2-3 inning, and then we get to the pivotal top of the eighth. Looking at this, so he gets a single to start things off. Tommy Edman gets on. Will Smith walks. Things are looking a little dicey here, brother. You got bases loaded, no outs. Bases loaded, no one out. Well, in comes in Gavin Lux. Hits a sac fly, does his job. That's all you need, man. You don't got to swing for the fences. Just get a sac fly there. Then Otani gets on after a catcher's interference. And then Mookie Betts clenches it, in a sense. Sac fly to center.
Yeah.
Tommy Edman scores. That's the final run of the ball game, 7-6. You can put a pin in that one. So this is the final scoring, final chance they have to score here, Jay. What were your thoughts, man, in that eighth inning, right? Pivotal, we're getting tight here.
Yeah.
And they take the lead off of some clutch hitting.
Yeah, Otani getting on base should have never happened. When I went back and watched the replay on that game, he clearly had that glove on the edge of the plate. Like you could see where I think it looked like it was about an inch into the plate. So, when you do that, you're gonna get hit, right? With the bat, and then that automatically puts you on first. I mean, come on, that's like a simple thing to do. Just keep it back a little bit. I know you're trying to frame the pitch, whatever, but you're at the same time, you're also costing your team a base runner. I felt like, Otani really hasn't done much at all this postseason in terms of the World Series. He's almost been very non-existent.
And would you chalk? You would think that you can chalk that up to his. It already came out that he was dealing with a shoulder injury.
But he hadn't been hitting before the shoulder. He was like pretty anemic.
Yeah, he didn't really do much in the postseason. And when you look at his stats, and just a quick recap to finish it out, the Yankees went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and that was it for them. Volpe grounded out, Wells struck out, and Verdugo, as we know, struck out on a nasty curveball from Walker Buehler, who just absolutely shoved it in his inning. So when you look at the final box score. Just kind of tallying everything up for these guys. Shohei hit a pedestrian 230. That's not what we're used to with this guy. We're used to seeing him being, a guy who hit over 50 home runs in the regular season, Jay, a 310 average, 130 ribbies, and a 1.36 OPS. This guy is a power hitter through and through. There's no doubt about that. But he clearly just did not have it in the postseason. That is for sure. Like I said, when he finished with a 230 average in the World Series, that ain't going to cut it. Coming into the series with the Yankees, he was hitting 286. And he just kind of dwindled as each game went forward. Some other guys on the team for we'll go LA. Obviously, Freddie Freeman took home the World Series MVP. He absolutely crushed it, Jay. And literally and figuratively, he crushed it.
For sure.
Like I mentioned earlier, when you look at in the postseason, what he did, or in the World Series rather, 4 home runs. And Jay, he also broke a record. I believe he hit in 6 World Series games. He hit 6 home runs. That's dating back to the one in 21 with Atlanta. Jay, he hit a home run in 4 straight games.
Yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts.
4 straight games with a home run, and he almost got one in Game 5.
Yeah, he did. The thing about that was too. Another thing that really, I was telling Frankie when it happened is they brought in Canely, right? Yes. And Canely's the one that gave up the last 2 runs, right? That ultimately got LA the win.
Exciting factor,
but this guy's sitting there throwing change up. At some point, you got to stop throwing the change up and go to your other pitches because people are going to figure you out. And that's exactly what happened. They figured Canely out. And so when Canely came in, I told Frankie, I said, man, I got a bad feeling about this, Frankie. It's like, no, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. But maybe not.
I will say, back to what I was saying earlier, if it wasn't for that blunder from Garrett Cole,
Yeah, like why are you stopping, Garrett? What the hell are you thinking?
if it wasn't for that, man, that could have maybe, gave him a win. Like I said, they were up 5-0.
You got a 37-year-old Rizzo with a bad back. You think he's just going to naturally run to the bag? No, you got to go to the bag and get the ball from Rizzo. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, 35 also. Yeah, but still, when I looked at Fred Jay, and this is what kind of struck me in a sense, in a good way for Freddie, and a reason why he was so locked in. Jay, 4 home runs, as I mentioned in the World Series, 12 RBIs. Only had 1 game in the postseason of the World Series, rather, where he didn't knock in more than 1 RBI. He knocked in 4 in game 1, 1 in game 2, 2 in game 3, and then in game 4 knocked in 3, and game 5 knocked in 2. So why are we even pitching to this guy? He walked once, but I mean, hell, if you're knocking the cover off the ball, I'm surprised he even got a walk. But the main thing too, and Jay, you're going to appreciate this. He only had 1 strikeout in the whole World Series. That was in game 5. Only had 1 strikeout the entire series. And crazy. Also, it came out right after the series ended. We knew he was playing hurt, but then it came out that he was even more hurt than we knew. That he had suffered a rib injury before I believe it was the postseason even started. That he had been banged up.
And that's the thing, right? You got a hurt guy who has got jacked up ribs out producing Aaron Judge and Ohtani. And what are we doing? Like, where is all our big hitters when you need them, right? Nowhere to be found.
Yeah. So it was he had already been hurt with an ankle injury, so his leg was hurt. And then it said that he had gotten x-rays October 4th. He said he was ready to play despite an ankle injury. Then he did some BP, and then he felt a pain in his body and crumpled to the ground, Jay. He went to the doctors, and they basically had said that he had broken the costal cartilage in his 6th rib. It's an injury that typically sidelines players for months. Not 4 months, but just for months. And credit to him, man, for gritting his teeth, gutting it out. And what was the call in the game 1 that Joe Buck made? It was it Freddie meet Gibby because the Kirk Gibson home run. I mean, Kirk Gibson was up there with 2 legs made of glass, and he hit a home run. Hell, put Freddie up there with him too. He couldn't breathe and he could barely walk, but damn it, he got it done.
Hammer it out.
He got it done though, man. I will say when I look at the team, the lineup for New York, as you said, Judge struggled. 184 average, 344 OBP, and a 408 slugging. Chisholm also didn't do much either. 182 batting average, 250 OPS or OBP, and a 309 slugging. That ain't getting it done anywhere. I don't care who you are. I know their catching core is more so defensive, but still Austin Wells, Jay, 120. 120. At least give me like 180 or 200. Give me something better than 120. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I was to Trevino. They thought, well, if we go to Trevino, maybe that'll liven up, and it did.
No, it did not. And then Alex Verdugo, right? 208 batting average. I will say, the positives, the 2 guys, if you look in this lineup that produced for all 5 games, you can say Juan Soto, who might be leaving the team, Jay. Let's not forget, he's only there for 1 year. He doesn't have to come back. He can leave. What he said in the post game, he said he's going to explore options. He's basically not writing anything out. I don't want to hear that. If I'm a Yankees fan, I don't want to hear that.
Man. Yeah, you don't want to hear that, But the Yankees can afford him, but I don't know if Kyle Steinbrenner is going to be like George and pay all that money. I mean, he probably should, but who knows? I
mean, Jay, this is also a guy, for God's sake, who might be the highest paid player in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so than Ohtani. Remember, this is where guys are saying, all right, you might get 500 mil. You might get more. For the love of God, this is a lot of money for a guy.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think Juan Soto is probably one of the best players in baseball. He's super young. He's been in the league for a long time now. He came up when he was, I think, 18. He's like 26, I believe, now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he won a World Series before with Washington. People forget that. And he produced here. He didn't get it done, but that's a team effort. As a personnel, just for himself, I thought he did really fine. He did great. 327 average. You kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, we know he's probably got the best eye in baseball in terms of his in terms of just how he handles at bats. I mean, God, look at the one in Cleveland. They basically sent them to the World Series.
Oh yeah.
That was like a 12 pitch at bat, I believe, or
Yeah.
he just waited it out and he got 3 walks in Game 5. So he got on. He made himself available for the other players behind him to knock him in, but they just couldn't do it. And look, Aaron Judge, 2 hits, 2 walks in Game 5. He got it going a little bit towards the end, but it's too late. It was too late. It's fine if you get it done in Game 5, but if you don't do nothing for the other 3 games, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah, that's typically the way it works, right?
That's how it is. Jay, do you have any final thoughts here? I'm going to look up the Yankees payroll for 2025, and we'll see what they can do. So if you have any final thoughts while I get that looked up, now is the time, my friend.
Yeah, my final thoughts is this. Garrett Cole, what the hell were you thinking? Son of a gun, man. Well, I'll tell you what, I almost said it too, but I mean, like, really, what are you thinking? Like that is such a basic play. And if you had gotten that out, you probably could have got out of that inning with no runs scored. You could have been 5-0 going to the next inning. And you just followed through and did your job. So it is what it is. And in terms of Aaron Judge, you need to rethink your whole strategy, bro, because you suck in postseason. And then as far as Ohtani goes, yeah, you got all the money, bro, but you ain't giving the goods. And if it wasn't for your boy Mookie Betts and Teoscar Hernandez and Freeman, you probably wouldn't have a ring either. I mean, you can switch teams all you want, but if you can't produce one of the most critical times, why are you getting the bag? What time to be alive, man.
So, Jay, I found the list of Yankees who are going to be their contracts are coming up this year.
Yeah.
These are guys who might be with the team, might not be with the team. I'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Bottom guys are guys who might come back. We'll see. So we got a couple of relief pitchers here, Jay. Jonathan Loaizaga, Tim Hill, Lou Trevino, Luke Weaver, Tommy Canley, and Clay Holmes. All of those gentlemen, except for Loaizaga, are in their 30s. Loaizaga's 29, so we'll see if those guys come back. But I'll go with these guys here because these are the main contributors. Just yes or no, are they coming back to the team? Alex Verdugo, does he go back to New York?
Oh, Verdugo. Yeah, that's always a hard one.
Tough.
I'm gonna say yes because I think they're gonna afford him. So I'll say yes.
All right. We also have Gleyber Torres, 27 years old, second baseman. I think they bring him back.
Yeah, I think they'll bring Gleyber back. I mean, he did okay, starting off the game, so he didn't do bad.
He did fine. I know one that they are probably not going to bring back, and this is just based on age. Anthony Rizzo, first baseman, age 35. Yeah. He's getting paid. He got paid. Yeah, so in 25, he has a $17 million contract. It's a club option, so I don't think they're going to pick that up.
No, I think Rizzo's gone, as well as he should be. Man, he's just a little old in the tooth right now. So, yeah, I think Rizzo definitely leaves.
A little bit older and not as productive, as when they were hoping for when they first got him. And Jay, the main event, Juan Soto.
I'm gonna say no because I don't know that Hal is gonna spend that kind of money. He should, but I don't know that he will. So I'm gonna say no. I think he signs somewhere else, possibly the Dodgers.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
I mean,
could you imagine?
I mean, it's crazy, right?
No, but that's just it's crazy to me. So I mean, looking at some of the money they've got wrapped up in these guys, right? And this is for the 2024 active payroll, third most in baseball. Let me see if I can find the 25 real quick. I mean, they're also paying Jay a bunch of guys money that they shouldn't have, or that they paid way too much money for, like DJ LeMahieu. Remember him?
Yeah.
Jay, he's getting paid 15 mil
To what? Ride the bench? Okay.
to fill up the Gatorade. Nestor Cortez is getting paid a little bit less than 4 mil. Wait a second. Jay, did he is I don't think we brought that up. Did he come back? Is this the one where he came back in the World Series?
Yeah, he pitched in the World Series.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that.
He didn't pitch well, but he pitched. Matter of fact, he's one of the ones that gave up 2 of the 4 runs at the end of that one game. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but yeah,
that's it. Yeah, let me look his game log up here. But yeah, I forgot about that just because there were so many other storylines, obviously.
For sure.
But no, yeah. So Nestor, he'd been hurt for a while now. Yeah, so he pitched in 2 games in the World Series. Pitched in 2 games. Played in the Monday night game. He pitched an inning and 2/3, no hits, no runs. Here it is. Friday against LA. Was this the you know what it was, Jay? You know what it was? He was the one who gave up that home run.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I remember telling Frank, said, "You didn't see that?"
Yeah, but I believe he was the one who gave up. I believe he was the one that gave up the home run. It could be. Let me double check that real quick. But if he wasn't the one that gave up the home run, he was the one who obviously didn't help. You know what I mean? Like he's the one who gave up a couple of hits that led to that. If I can find the box score here. Yeah. So yeah, he was the one who blew the save. He's the one he pitched. He had 2 pitches, Jay. 2 pitches.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2 pitches, and one of them went 400 yards, 400 feet rather. But that puzzles me too. Aaron Boone, and also Jay, we gotta talk about this. Aaron Boone, first off, why the hell would you put this guy in who's been hurt for some amount of time? Then
you're right.
Who hasn't pitched, Jay? Do you want? God, oh my God! Do you want to know the last time he pitched, Jay? The last time Nestor Cortez. The last game he pitched was on September 18th.
Yeah.
He hadn't pitched in over a month, and you're going to put him in one of the most high-stakes situations you can find.
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Well, you know what? And Boone came out and said the one game where he took Weaver out, I think after like 19 pitches or something, he felt like he said, "I should have left Weaver in there longer," which is right. You should have left Weaver.
You should have, yeah. Yes, you should.
And then obviously in game 1, Cole he only had like 88 pitches. Cole did in game 1. He could have left Cole in there a little bit longer as well. So I think he pulled some of his starting pitching and relief pitching way too early when they could have gone a little bit longer.
It puzzles me, Jay. So this isn't confirmed, like there's no official, thing yet. But from multiple outlets, like websites and whatnot, beat writers, fan sites, not like ESPNs of the world, but still you can kind of see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
It looks like the Yankees are going to keep Aaron Boone and pick up a 2025 option. Is this? I mean, so just looking here, right? Yeah. I'm looking at this website. This is on EmpireSportsMedia.com if anyone wants to read it. So Boone's led the Yankees to the playoffs in 6 of his 7 years while he's in charge. They went to the ALCS or further in 3 of those occasions. Jay, you remember those, don't you?
Yeah,
you remember those real well.
That's to get the Boone.
And then obviously, as we just saw, got him to the World Series, but wasn't quite enough. He's 51, like I said, been on the team for a couple of years now. Not sure, like I said, the thing is, I mean, the main thing with this Yankees club, two big questions. Are they going to keep him? Which looks like yes, they are. And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, with will they get Juan Soto? Because it's up to him. He can choose. It's up. This is Soto's choice. This isn't the Yankees' choice with Boone. So let's hope you get 2 of 2 and make the right calls on you say the right things to Soto to bring him back. But let's hope. And Jay, can I equate it to your team and the Cowboys?
Yeah.
With a certain coach that you're kind of losing hope for with McCarthy. Do you think Yankees fans are kind of getting to that point now of, hey man, come on, do something for me, win for me? And look, like I said, he's got the winning. He's got like I said, I don't think Boone is a bad manager, right? It's not like he sucks. It's not like they're in last. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know who I'm in kind of. I can kind of think of in a way, but without the one ring, he kind of reminds me of Doc Rivers.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Doc Rivers got that one championship in Boston and has been hanging on ever since. Don't get me wrong; he makes his team winners. Like they're going to get into the postseason, but you got to win for me. You got to get a championship. And Jay, New York has not got a championship in 15 years now. 2009, not even this decade. Not even the last decade. They haven't gotten a ring.
Yeah, and I'm loving it too.
Since
look, 15. Hey, in another 15 years that they haven't hit it, they'll be right there at the Cowboys.
Since the turn of the century, right? 2000. They've gotten 2 rings.
Yeah.
2000 and 09. They've only been back. This is the first time they've been back since 09. It's not like they've been there before. No.
Yeah. You're right.
Do they need to bring the farm system up to snub? I mean, obviously, Dominguez is one of their top prospects who's played a little bit but hasn't seen a lot. And this is honestly, go back to Verdugo. They might say, sorry, Alex, see you later. But we're going to bring up Jason Dominguez, who a lot of people are saying is going to be a major power hitter for New York. Yeah. I can see them going that route, but I don't know what they need, man. I mean, I think they're getting to the point where they have to do something. If you're Aaron Boone, I'm just lucky I'm sticking there, man. I mean, God, after that Game 1 performance, I would have said, "Oh, dude, you got to be kidding me." Hey, you know what it reminded me of is because I'm watching the series right now on Netflix. They're doing a documentary on the 04 Boston Red Sox.
Oh, really?
They are. And I was watching the episode, and it was, I think, Game 1 of the World Series, like right before, where Grady Little had left Pedro Martinez in there for too long, right? In 03.
Yeah. And
coincidentally, Jay, Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone was the bane of Red Sox existence for a while.
Yeah.
And what happened to Grady Little? He got fired. That cost him a chance to go to the World Series. I kind of got flashbacks to that whenever he put Nestor Cortez in there in the bottom of the in extra innings against what was soon to be the hottest bat and the future MVP of the World Series in Freddie Freeman. I thought of that. I said, this is a potential fireable. This is a reason to be fired right here.
Oh, for sure.
Making decisions like this.
For sure. Absolutely.
15 years and counting, Jay, since the New York Yankees have raised a banner. Jay, wait a minute. Were they in the new Yankee Stadium at the time? Did they just moved into the new Yankee Stadium when they got the ring?
I want to say yes.
I think that was like the first year. I think it was the first year that stadium was built. Yes, it was. So, yeah, New Yankee Stadium was built April 2nd, 2009. We know they won the title that season in the 09-10 season.
So the first year they won it.
Yeah.
First year at the stadium.
They got it there, and that's been it. At least, so you can at least say that the new stadium has a ring in it, right? They got one. You see the one behind me, Jay, the background?
Yeah.
It's got one ring there, but it's getting a little dusty. It's been a while.
So. Yeah, it's been a little while.
Uh-huh.
It's been a
And I will say on a personal level, Frankie, you broke our streak, our unofficial streak that we've had here on the show. Back when we started this network, Jay, back when we just were doing unscripted before we even had the network, we have had teams go to the postseason and win for the last 3 years. It started in 2021. It started when the Atlanta Braves won. Then in 22, Jay, your Houston Astros got the win. And then in 23, good friend of ours, Oz, his Texas Rangers, they got the win there. Jay, we don't have someone on the net. We have Melvin, who is a Yankees fan, but he lives in LA. I mean, it doesn't count. We don't have a true Dodgers fan in our network at this moment. So,
no, we don't.
Frankie, you ended the streak.
We don't.
That hurt me a little bit when I thought of that.
You had one job, Frankie. One job, and you screwed it up.
I know. It's all right, though. There's always next year, though, right, Jay? Always next year?
Yeah, that's what they say. It's always next year.
Always next year.
Maybe.
We'll see. Hell, the Braves made a move the day, not even 24 hours after the postseason ended. They said, all right, time to start signing, guys. We're doing this here. So I'm already liking the tenacity of Anthopoulos in the Braves front office. So I'm liking that. But different video for a different day. Jay, it's been fun, man, recapping the World Series with you. Always fun. Sad baseball's over. It's my favorite sport, so always a little bit bittersweet when it's over. But I love the postseason, and I love the offseason, too. Get to see guys get signed and get geared up for spring training. But, of course, football season's in full effect. We're closing in on Week 10 of the college season, Week 9, I believe, of the NFL season. Hockey's been going on strong for about a week or so now, so it hasn't been on too long, but that's just started up not too long ago. Basketball's still fresh, so I know the Hawks are a little bit rough right now. Your Rockets, how are the Rockets looking right now, Jay? I haven't checked on that.
Last time I checked, they're 2-2, 500. I believe they're in the eighth seed.
Understood. All right. Well, hey, like I said, basketball's still fresh, so we'll definitely be pivoting over to content. More basketball, more football. Might throw some hockey in there, see if we can find some guests on the show, help us out a little bit, because we're not hockey people. We don't know the sport that well. But thankfully, though, Jay, we have a great network with a bunch of great commentators and analysts who do know hockey more than we do, so we can lend their expertise. Also coming up on the show, we've got our boy Big Glenn helping us out. He's going to be doing some work, getting some TikToks and some YouTube shorts at Pacers games, at Fever game when they come back from the WNBA. They just got a new head coach. That'll be interesting. Also, NASCAR racing. That's his money right there. That's his wheelhouse. So that'll we got some of that coming up on the channel here very soon. Glenn's got a show coming up here, Jay, in a little while. We haven't announced it just yet, but if you tuned in for over an hour, we'll give you a little sneak peek that coming up very, very soon. We're gonna have an announcement on that on the channel here very, very shortly. So stay tuned. And it's going to be fun, though, Jay. I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of great stuff coming up in this fall. 1st of November, man. We're getting locked in. We had a really fun summer, getting locked in for the fall. And we got a lot of great content coming down. We got a lot of stuff. Once again, check us out. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, LinkedIn. Linktree is the best way to find all that, though. Facebook and YouTube, main 2 platforms. You can find all of our stuff on. Find the link trees for. So that's our best way for you to check that out over there. Jay, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. It's been fun talking some sports with you, talking some baseball as we put a cap on the 2023-24 season. Yeah, 23-24 season. And look forward now to 24 and 25. May the best man win this next World Series. Jay, we'll talk to you later, man. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you on another episode of Unscripted here, of course, on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. We'll see you later.